I'll jump right into it. Last week we were making the visor for this character, and I was showing like pretty much like the long way to get there. And yeah, and we're at the stage now we can actually do like the panel looping and everything. So I'll just continue on modeling the head of this character. Simple as that. So those were like small indicators to make sure that the dents in the not the dents but the I don't know how to call these the holes in the visor were of a perfect or as close as possible to be a capsule shape. So there you go. The rest we have the panel loops, we have everything. Okay, for some reason there's a little dent here. Okay. So let's panel loop this. Let's do a test. 0.01. Actually, was I in? No, I need to click ignore polygroups to make sure that it doesn't divide by polygroup. And yeah, the thickness of the mesh. Am I going to need it to be this thick, or is it going to be a problem if it's this thick? Um, I'll just do it a little smaller. So I kind of like maybe want to use the thickness of the visor in some areas. I'm gonna need to actually move it around though, because right now it's not showing everywhere I want it to show. But that's not a problem so far. Hey everyone, hey Jesus Velasco too, Mr. Lan, hello. Okay, all right. Once we have this, we can apply a dynamic subdivision on it, but let's crease our polygroups. Got my old faithful shortcut and good old group binormal to change to start putting hard edges on angles. This one here we're not gonna want it to crease. Oh, also back up, back up, back up. I don't want to lose the polygroups on the surface. So before doing the group binormal, we're just gonna get rid of the polygroups that we want to keep. So basically just keeping the entire edges like this. And mirror and weld so that both sides of the polygroups are the same. And we can uncrease certain areas. Let's just find right away the a good combination of crease level and smoothing. Oh, I forgot to go and get my reference, which is basically just like my other insectoids. So like I might be looking for a little bit more roundness on the edges, so let's put the crease level to 1. That might be the level at which we're gonna go. Or is it too much? Too much, too much, too much. Yeah, it's not looking perfect everywhere. There's like small pinches in some areas. We're gonna need to remedy to that. Maybe just adding like a little alpha or something. It's gonna help. Let's not go too crazy. Oh, there's actually a problem here. Ha ha ha. Boy, oh boy. Is there other errors on the edges just before I No, okay, that's the only place that there is something like that. Okay. All right, just fix this. And for this part, might as well. These the loops are going around perfectly, so we're not gonna have any issues here. It's just this one that kind of like loops a bit weirdly. We're not getting rid of the triangle, but at least we're having we have a more well, not really. Hmm. Yeah, I'll try myself with two triangles here just to not have to deal with like stupid polyflow. There you go. So that's gonna be fine. When I'm gonna add the panel loop, I mean. Oops. So now okay, everything's cleaner, perfect. There's some areas I just don't want it to sharpen. I want to really keep like the edge more rounded. This is a visual choice. Okay. Okay. So there's going to be some like edge polish cleanup and some faking in this area because I was not able to get the cleanliness of polygon that I wanted, which is fine. As I said many times, I've learned to cope with that, which I think it's a good exercise to learn to like focus on like not focusing on not getting like a 100% result of something, but like something that has the same like spirit and whatnot. Okay. Let's give it kind of like a shine. Maybe not that intense, just oh, let's get something more readable. No. It's just too reflectant. I don't remember what I was using for the other one. That was satisfying. Just this one looks like so intense. And I don't want to have to change materials because they're not going to retain their character when I reboot. Maybe I'll go with something like that. Let's just try it. I'm still going to use like other more blasted material to test like the looks of it. So yeah, I think I was pretty much able to retain everything that I wanted from the blocking, so I'll be able to kind of like hide the blocking from this now. Like I might keep the blocking under just as like a kind of like a rubbery edge around the visor. Let's just check the chat. Hey Marco, have you worked on the character of Helldiver 2? It just came up. It just came up. You're styled by the game. No, I don't even know what the game is. Um, how do you handle baking tight areas that could be clipping? I sculpted a character in a pose and I don't really know what to do with the whole baking part because there are parts that go inside and of each other and they're really close together. Um, yeah, this is something I don't encounter often with my characters, with the baking of my characters at the very least. I think sometimes it's just about like choosing the right cage projection in substance. Um, but sometimes you might have to actually like just make them apart and export both maps in Photoshop, splice them, and and import them in Substance afterwards. But this makes it hard for like the rebaking afterwards and that sort of stuff. If you want though, feel free to join our Discord server and ask your question there. There's a ton of helpful people, seriously. They're really nice. And so yeah, at the bottom of the screen, just go on our Discord. Okay, 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 okay. I wonder if I do a little like polish by crease, not by polygroup, I guess. Yeah, doing that polish by section is a little bit cleaner. Okay, at this point, I think I'm going to actually commit the apply the dynamic subdivision because now I want to be able to have like more control on really like polishing like each like section accordingly, the polygroups correctly with no sub like smoothing. Like this way I can actually like really facetize the surface in some areas with H polish. Maybe also clean up in some areas a little bit. As I said, a lot of the sometimes the surfaces to clean them just don't like hard H polish them. They using like a smooth is actually sometimes better, especially if they're like rounded parts. For this like pinch here, I'm actually not going to fight against it. I'm just gonna hide it later with some like details and whatnot. Okay, other questions. Hello Marco, when remeshing, how do you go about super sharp corners, like a sword, for example? Do you make each side a polygon? When I said remesh, it smooths the sharpness and makes a weird topology. Well, I mean, just use creasing, I guess. That would be my answer. And if creasing is not enough because you want to have like some part smooth and this part like harder, then try maybe try add like a support edge around there. Salut Marco, comment vas-tu? It's going fine, I guess. I'm a bit depressed today, just a bit tired of the few challenges that's happening right now in my life, so it's yeah, so it's a bit of a hard day to be honest. You can always go to ZBrush and separate it. It really okay. You're answering this question. Hello Marco, how are you doing? Oh well, already answered that one. I hope you are doing well as well. I'm stalling a bit right now. I think I'm having a hard time to focus on what's really necessary, and I'm kind of like getting caught up on details. Let's really get to something else, because starting to annoy myself even. Orphaned Fatkin. Hey Marco, sorry to hear you depressed. I feel it. I hope those challenges are resolved quickly. I don't think they will. But thanks. I appreciate the thought. That's thanks for the kind words. Thank you so much. Wish you the best. Going to lurk now. What is your thought or ideas that you've been thinking a lot recently in your mind? Just random question. I don't feel like talking about it, to be honest. It's just like it's stuff I've been like talking about like all the time, and I'm just like I'm completely talked out of it. No, it's mostly just like everything that's happening in my life. No, some challenges that are unresolved and out of my control, but they're like starting to weigh a bit too fucking much for my tastes. So yeah. No offense that you're asking, right? It's completely fine. It's just I'm done. I'm done talking about them. The high holes are much bigger than I thought that they were going to be in the end. But is it a problem? Is it a problem that they are like that? That's the question. I can try again, maybe in this angle. They're really just like a question of like finding like the right angle at which to dig the hole. Since the lens have kind of like a like they have their own like well, they have their own, but they have like a direction they're looking at, and I want the holes to actually aim in the same direction. That's pretty neat, I'd say. A little bit of smoothing just to actually get like a smoothing that looks equivalent to the smoothing of the edges. That would be important. Curious also if I can actually do like a dent in the glass like this. Okay. Okay, that works much better. There we go. just using a trim hole. Yeah, trim hole. Just having the right angle, doing those kind of little edges and stuff. That's what was needed to get the right result. Check the chat. Aside from technical questions, how can you motivate yourself to go live or doing work when you're not in the mood? You can skip it if you feel not talking anyways. No, I can talk about it. It's just I've kind of like I feel like I have a sense of duty to produce these. So my sense of duty is kind of like going is stronger than my want of being just like left alone and stuff. No? Yeah, it's just that. There's like a twist in that right here that really bothers me. I should have detected that before. Yeah, I should have detected that before, but I didn't. Now it's pain in my ass. I'm not even sure that that actually fixed it. Not even. This one helped a little bit. I'm gonna need to find something just to clean that up better or hide it. I don't know if you listen to music while working, and I don't know if you have time to deal with something like that, but if you could put music on the stream and upload the stream without it, would you do it? No, that sounds like work. I don't want to do extra work. I think it's preferable if people choose their music and just put it on top of the stream. Like you open Spotify, you open Twitch. It's so amazing to see your work. I'm here working on my stuff and I have you on my second monitor. And when I feel like my stuff looks bad, I simply look over and think, yeah, that is awesome. Don't be so hard on yourself. All right, let's get to another piece because I think I'm stuck. I'm stuck in a mind loop right now with this one. We'll go back to detailing it and fixing those things later. Okay, so there's a few of like those like gray parts, which are all going to be like added layers. Not added layers. I have a really hard time finding my words today. Panel loops. So might as well just go and try to do like a bunch at the same time. Those panel loops. So I'll duplicate this mesh. I'll let me just remember. Little screenshot on this side. Like this. There you go. So I'll paint the oops. This time I'll paint the exact like corner. Like I'm wondering if those like this part here, because like this whole gray part, it's like a one piece of a certain shape. This black part here is kind of like just like an indentation that goes inside. I'm wondering if I shouldn't just like do it manually and get like almost like just creating like a primitive for like this part of the helmet instead and going from there. I think I'm gonna do that. I think it's gonna be easier to just put like a cylinder on the head. Like these plates are really complex and they actually look like plates, but A lot of like between the plates are just the like plastic in betweens that will be a mesh later by itself. Just like a one mesh that represents all of like the in between plastic, which is basically going to be the blocking that I pushed in. All of those details are just going to be details in the end. Um, I think that's it. I think I got everything. The bottom here was probably going to be just like the blocking as well. It's not a really important mesh. Okay, well, let's try with that. Let's split all of that into their own plates. So mask by intensity. Split everything. And so these are the important meshes. We're going to put everything else on the same polygroup. And we're going to grow these a bit more. Because I did have a pretty broad let's remove the lines. Yeah, a pretty broad brush when I did the contours, so I don't want to lose like too much of the edges and the yeah. I'll reclaim some of it just by also like moving the mesh around. But that should be everything is still disconnected. That's good. Just the mirror and weld, so everything is fine. And now we can proceed into doing a little polish for the edges. Boom. We're still losing some edges also, but like I said, we'll get them back later. Let's remove the details. They're going to be kind of like in the way for the algorithm to understand like what's our purpose with these meshes. QArts, have you ever worked with 3D Code before? If so, how do you find it as a software? No, I never tried it. Well, no, that's not true. I opened it, checked around. Somebody showed me how he was using it. I didn't really jive with it. I'm not saying it's a bad software. I'm just saying it didn't really work with my style. That person was more of a prop artist also. I think prop artist and concept artist. So yeah. Um, okay, let's get the our head mesh back in. Let's give a very noticeable poly paint for those, and we'll inflate just to be over the our blocking, and let's get back some of this get back the shape that we kind of like lost in the process. I'm using an AccuCurve here on my move brush because I'm really just trying to be very precise with what do I move, even if it does like pinch the surface a bit to move like this. Precision is what I'm looking for right now, and AccuCurve is well, adding AccuCurve on your brush does help a lot, I find. So I won't be as judgmental on these plates as I've been with on the visor. That's going to be a big difference there for sure. And the reason is because, first of all, the visor is a very reflective material. So it kind of like highlights the errors even more. So that's why I was like so indulgent with the visor. And also these parts are like less of the focus than the visor, which is the front part of the face. That being said, and I repeat myself often saying that, but the the parts that are gonna follow, like around the body, when we get less close to the head, like farther and further from the head, this I really like start to like be much more permissive, let's say. A few weeks ago, I don't know exactly when, I saw in one of your posts that you were working on a new course. I'm pretty sure I didn't dream it. I think you dreamt it, dude. Hey Marco, bon matin. Bon matin. I've been really trying to improve my creative concepting, sculpting à la Chaos Masons. Other than just repeating the process, what tip would you have to improve? Well, that's a pretty broad question there. Um, I don't know if like I can answer that in a nutshell. Actually, that's a doozy. Okay, so now before I do and like panel loop these, I'm gonna try to just make sure like their shapes are okay and like their main volumes are okay. And for that, I'm going to kind of like highlight where I want the edges to be first. And this is like mostly like a visual aid for myself. Like there's like some like edges in there that I really want to like not miss. These edges, I might actually round them off later, but I really just want to like make sure I'm clear with myself on where I'm going with the volumes and everything. Some are more obvious already than others. Like this edge is not going to be sharp. I'm going to smooth it not too long, but just having it like somewhat sharp kind of like helps me to really just like own in the planes that I'm targeting. It's okay if I lose my like the edges like become like jaggy again, jaggy. Anyways, like pixelated if you want. Okay. So now I'll just like flatten that edge a little bit. Oops. Meant to take trim dynamic. Just cut, just to cut the edge into like a more of a plane. That's already smoothed. A lot of the smoothing will be done with the once we have the Z remesh. Huh? But you see now like the planes are a little bit more obvious. So once we Z remesh all of that, it's going to start to help a lot. Okay. Next one, this one. This one is a little bit simpler. See like these, like this line that's actually kind of like dipping down here while this one is going up. It's not really like a clean line flow, and that's one of the things that I want to like rectify. So you see by moving the shape around like this, just makes it cleaner. Just want to move the border a bit like this. There we go, we can round this off again. So now much cleaner. I might actually take a bit of the border of this one and just kind of like move it so it's more adjusted with the other one on top. Just moving the border only. Really important when you move like the lines of your volume to also look at it into like it's like a very different view. Like if you look at it on the side like this, like look at it from the front afterwards, just to make sure you haven't like destroyed the line flow on this angle as well. Technically, if you have like the line flow looking really good in two angles, two angles that are like different from each other. So let's say like front and side and top, you'll chances are things are gonna look clean. Okay. Um. Sorry, I have to catch up the chat. I can try what I have seen on my process that worked best on improving fast is having feedback. You can do the same process if you have no level to see your mistakes, you will just repeat them. Yeah, well, I mean, you can also like study your own things and go back on your own work and kind of like compare it for sure. But like, of course it helps to have feedback. Absolutely. Our website where industry professionals give you feedback, you pay them per hour. I think it's really worth the money. Other than that, I can try contact people on Discord, but the advice will be more limited. Yeah, no, for sure. No. Hey there, is that possible to mention which site? Okay, allow me to share the website after all if you go. Oh yeah, you can share their website, it's fine. Don't worry. Thanks for asking though. Hey Marco, do you use like using Unreal Engine in your project? I did. I think it's cool. It didn't really serve my purposes though, so I never really like used it more, but no, it's a good one. The same of the site is fine. I just would find the link. Okay. All right, all right, all right. Alright, so the planes are clean enough, flat enough in the moment. I just need to make sure now the line flow follows everywhere. That's good. Last piece. Jumbe, just a question to distract you. Who in the industry you enjoy working with outside of Chaos Masons, and what was the project, if you can share? You mean the project or the person? See, like this edge, it's going to be much easier to just do an extrusion, so I'm actually going to get rid of that. I'm going to completely flatten this part here. Both. Okay, all right. Well, I mean, so outside of Chaos, I have to Cedric won't be there, it means, in the answer. Because I mean, there was a time I was working with Cedric outside of Chaos Masons, right? But I guess people are looking for another answer than the usual. So hmm. The most. It's always hard to answer with the most. Like I can go and ponder on the subject and just mention names and we'll see. But the so the project, oh yeah, the project I love working on the most is a project I can't actually talk about because it never came out. So that is kind of like a bit of a problem. But yeah, at ADOS, when I got hired at AOS, I was that's where I started to work with Cedric again. And at first we were on this like secret project, and it never got revealed because it got canceled. And it would have been pretty fucking cool if it got out. Um, like I saw games coming out of like of ADOS afterwards, and or work that came out of like artists that I work with on that project, and I can clearly see that like they were inspired by the art direction and the work we did on the secret project. So the secret project kind of like exists in a sense in another form. But yeah, working on that project was just really fucking cool. Everybody was super inspired. Yeah, it really came as like a shock when we were canceled. It really sucked. I was put on Deus Ex after Deus Ex Mankind Divided just to finish the project, and that was pretty cool though. That was it's just pretty much all the work was already done, so there was not much left to do. So yeah, that was by far my favorite project outside of Chaos Masons. Working on Mass Effect Andromeda was really fucking cool as well. That was really nice. I didn't stay long at BioWare though because that secret project that I'm talking about like before when they came in and picked me up um, and um, and it's yeah, it was a very hard decision to leave BioWare because I had a lot of fun with the people there. Well, actually, which leads me to talk about the let's say like my favorite person I work with. Um, the I really had a good time working with Rodrigue Brallier, which was my boss when I was at BioWare. Um, like first of all, he's a really good artist. Really kind person. People call him like the koala because he hugs people and stuff. I think that's the reason. I don't remember. Um, but yeah, no, I think was it was a really pretty fun to work with, and also he was a really great boss. Like when something was important, like he was rigid when it was the time to be rigid. He was very protective of its team, of us, and like you know, there's like some things that happen sometimes with people is like when you get like, let's say it's like somebody in a leader position gets like shit dumped on him by like the higher ups. Like some people, like some will react by just like dumping the same stuff back on like the people like below, whereas like some leaders will like take the flack and not like just like redirect the shit for lack of better words. And I was always inspired by that mentality, like the responsibilities of leadership. It's also like the hardships of leadership, right? And it's hard to always be perfect and everything, right? But like if you strive to do that, I just I just think by default it makes you like a better leader. Um, and yeah, and it was really inspired when it was my time to be a leader. I was really inspired by that. Um, I I like to think that most of the time this is how I am. Um, and at the very least, that's what I'm inspired to be. So yeah, that was yeah, that would be my answer. It was a good question, actually. I'm happy we went there with the question. Let me just adjust the connection between those two plates. I feel like it's like they're not like flowing together correctly. So by forcing this around this over here, I think I'm gonna accomplish that. Okay, and now that they are adjusted together, I can move them at the same time to fit my mesh under. But I know that they are like flowing with each other, let's say. All right. Let's start to push things in a bit. So for everything that's like design aspects of my blocking that I'm kind of like getting rid of, um, like I can always just like load my blocking on a second file and use it as kind of like a concept, or because like all like these lines, for example, I'm kind of like erasing them at the moment. Maybe I want to keep them as like a visual reference for where I'm going with this concept. Anyways, so we have a bunch of plates here. They are ready to be panel looped, I guess. If you work on a project and the project will never come out, does the NDA hold forever? Yeah, it does. I don't think there's a limitation on NDAs. It happened to me in the past that the project got canceled and I was like, hey, can I still show my stuff? And they did. I mean, for example, like Paragon, we worked for Paragon for a little while. And when the project got canceled and stuff, well, pretty much right away they were like, "Hey, just give us some time, and we'll try to get like some approval for you to show this stuff." And yeah, that was nice. It was nice that they let us do that. I think that's really kind to consider that for your artists to let them show like the work that's got canceled, because really sucks to not have anything to put on your portfolio for a while, which is kind of the reason why we started Chaos Masons, me and Cedric. We're kind of like tired of like project that gets canceled and not being able to like advertise our talent. Okay, let's uh let's hard surface that. Dual polish so that the edges, oops, no, I don't want to lose this much. Anyways, whatever. Okay, so step one, I'm just gonna get some like different poly paints for these zones. So I'm gonna use mask and I'm gonna put some depth mask on them, just to make sure like the mask doesn't go like lower. I don't know what was that noise. Oh, it looks so cool. Good job, pal. Thanks. Um, the yeah, it really sucks. I recently finished working on my first feature film, and I can't even show that stuff with passwords. So there is basically no way for me to effectively prove that I have worked there and all the stuff I have done. Yeah, that really fucking sucks. And I think the film industry often does that, and yeah, it sucks. I can't imagine how it blows when you would be. Yeah. Salut from Oregon. I know that you have a hectic and busy schedule, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for doing these streams. Do you have a streaming schedule so I don't miss out? Here is some coffee money. Thanks again for giving back to the community. Yeah, well, I mean, thanks for saying that. It makes me feel seen. And no, I really appreciate it, seriously. Yep, I appreciate it a lot. Especially for today, since I'm like kind of like in a rut now. Anyways, but yeah, my schedule is I try to do it always like Tuesday morning. I don't have like a really like hourly schedule because sometimes I need to take care of some stuff, like some very urgent stuff, uh, on Tuesday mornings. So sometimes it delays a bit. But yeah, no, usually it's that day. So anything to just get a different poly group. All right, so with these different poly groups, we should have something somewhat adequate. Let's give it a try. Let's go 3000 polys, keep group, set remesh. Kind of funky over here, but not unusable. Try to see if this is gonna help. Doesn't really help. The rest is somewhat fine. Here it's weird, but I can fix that easily. I'm just gonna change the shape a bit to see if, like, sometimes just changing the shape will, like, kind of like change the entire algorithm and make it work. There we go. You see? Like, I don't even really understand what happened there, but works now. And here there's just like a stupid thing happening. I don't know why it did that, but boom. There we go. All right. So let's give it a first pass of like panel loop and try to see if we can just get something clean using our polish by crease and those things. So let's start by panel looping this. Ignore group, panel loop. Then let's get a crease on every polygroup with crease by polygroup. And for the edges now, let's get, actually, you know what? For the edge, I think I can just like select the back, do expand, and reselect the back. I got everything. Now I doubt it's going to work, but let's just give it a shot. Let's group by normal at 33%. And let's just do like a polish by crisp edge. Okay, I do lose some important edges in some areas, but it does give me like a pretty good first pass of like polish though. And I'll keep this pass of polish actually. And I'll just clean with that. I'll just not clean, but more like really re-get my shapes correctly now that there's like a pretty solid first pass that's happened. And this is basically now I'm going for really like the final placement and workflow and that stuff. So now it's for all the beans now. There's some weird stuff happening in some areas. We're gonna have to think for this, like I said, I'm gonna be less like diligent with this part, more allowing of like the results and making with them. Also, I have a topology activated so that when I move like one mesh, I don't move the one beside it. So there's something that I'm gonna do, and like if I move like the edge like this, I'm not really moving the back face of the thickness, so the thickness might not really like follow correctly and get warped. So I might either fix that later or ignore it if I can, or I can always do like another panel loop at the end once everything is placed like more straight, let's say. Here it clearly needs like a hard edge, so like this was actually like a mistake here. And this one I'll need to move the thickness here, so yeah. Here it needs to be a hard edge as well. Here there's like a polygon that's not helping at all. Even the line flow of that edge here, like it's to be considered. You have to be careful with that, I mean. Oh my god, it's so it's such a like a silly thing in a sense, but it did bring me a lot of joy yesterday. I was um I was playing Lego with my kid. My kid loves Legos, and the so like my actually like my wife and my kid were playing Legos earlier in the day, and they made like I don't know how they why they call it that. They call it like God, not God, gobies. I'm not sure, anyways. And it's just like they meant like a little like submarine thing, and so they created like Legos with they created submarines with the Legos, and then they uh, later when I was done working, we played Legos again, and basically my kid was like asking me to make my own submarine so we can all play with submarines and stuff. So like I started to play around with like the pieces that was left from the Lego kit, and I started to do like like a submarine, and I started to be like super proud of it. Like I really like the design I gave it, and when I was starting to get near the end, like my kid was basically asking. Wow, there's like a huge drill sound right now. I don't know if like you heard that. Anyways, but anyways, like yeah, my kid was basically like asking if he could play with the one I created instead. And it's funny because like part of me was like, like so proud of like the work that I did. I was like, no, I wanna play with it. Like I wanna be able to hold it in my hand a little bit more. And but you know, of course, I gave it to him, and he liked it so much, and it actually like on top of like me being like proud about like my own like little thing that I did. It was really nice to see like how much like the kid was able to appreciate like the thing I did for him. The little guy, the VQO, I did for him. Like he went to bed with the Lego. That was nice. It was a nice family moment. I don't know if you can hear that buzzing sound. It's like right underneath. You can hear it, eh? Wow. That sucks. Sorry about that. You see, like one of the reasons why like a bit depressed today is just the renovation started to. That's one of the reasons. And the renovation are like pretty fucking hard to live with lately. We're at the end, but it's like the entire house is like dirty as shit. There's constant noise, people in my house going all around, and it's been like this for a year, and I'm just at the end of my rope now for that. So yeah, it's been testing my patience a bit too much, let's say. Somebody shoot me. Yep, and this is where I'm gonna lose my. Lose the people that are listening to me. Yeah, the test of patience. If you guys wanna see how it is to live in my shoes for the past year, stay on that stream and subject yourself to that sound. I usually stream when I know that there's not gonna be any sound, but I feel like this week was not really like avoidable. There we go. Numbers are dropping. I haven't saved from the entire time. So let's just check the chat. Yeah, the noise is because somebody donated money, yeah. That's cool. That never really happens, so I'm not used to the sound though. Make a bionicle insectoid or design for your kid. Yeah. Well, at some point I'll be able maybe to make toys for him. It's just right now he's like way too young though. That's quite awesome. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's a huge bee, eh? It's almost like if we weren't there. The only reason I would want to have kids is to have excuses to play Legos. Actually, yeah, it made me rediscover my love for Legos, which was pretty cool. Sounds like somebody's practicing an instrument. Yeah, pretty annoying one as well, eh? Big drill. Let's pretend it's something learning tuba. Royalty-free music. Should plug in the guitar and fight back. Yeah, I hope. They wouldn't mind, I'm sure. It went from 90 to 98. Yeah, people seem to be responding positively to the sound. Oh, it did go up? Okay, I don't see that in my numbers. Yeah. We can make a D&B with this sample. Okay, well, hopefully it stopped a bit. Okay. Let's put the creases on, see what it gives me. Ooh, I forgot one plate. Actually, this one here. Oh well. Yeah, we're getting pretty close for these plates to be done. I think the bees are gone. Felt like what's his face again? Nicolas Cage for a second. So if I can get those two here to just be a little bit cleaner, I'll be more than happy with the results. Let's just see if I can actually do that with okay, much cleaner. And a bit of the same thing for this one. I'm using a smooth directional for this here. Yeah, that star makes it a bit not super good, but can always like just add like a detail on it or whatever. Okay, we might be done for the moment. I got a good couple of plates completed on this surface, which is very good. Some good work right there. We've advanced, like those things are, sometimes they're pretty time consuming. Now, there we go. All clean plates. Woohoo! Okay, so I'll work on removing the dynamic subdivision and whatever comes next on the next stream. We'll just need to do that little plate that I forgot. Then there will be, well, this part here that we're like not done. Adding a little top here. We're gonna do that with a primitive like I showed. And afterwards we're gonna be able to tackle basically the detailing and those little like greebles in between the plates. So yeah, cool. Um, just checking the stream real quick. Oh, damn it, I missed your polishing of the edge. Oh, I'll put the video back on YouTube after. Like, actually, in 1 week it's gonna be on yeah, in 1 week it's going to be on YouTube. So if you go at the bottom of the screen, you can check all our social medias. YouTube is there, and we always archive everything there. Plus, the video will be available on Twitch again. So, yep. Yeah, you missed the music in the background also. It's superb B contest. B not contest, but just crest. Concert. That's what I meant. Okay. So, all right, a lot of panel looping for today. I guess this is the panel loop episode. I can see there's a few things that are not adjusted correctly in between the shapes. I'll fix that next week with fresh eyes because now I'm kind of like need to take a break for sure. All right, let's do that. Let's go raid someone. Boom. All right. Also, oh my God, how the hell did you get a 120 gigs of RAM to work an AMD chip? Is it working at XMP? Oh, actually, I have to change my information because no, I'm 64 gig. The 128 gig kept crashing, so I got it back to the shop. So yeah. Would you make a Critical Role figure? Oh my God, it's so funny you're asking me that because like I am like so deep in Critical Role right now, and I just keep thinking about making one. Actually, it's crazy. You're just like really reading my mind right there. Kenyan Swift, thank you for the stream. Thanks, Marco. Thank you and have a good day, Marco. I knew it. All right. So thanks everybody for joining. Sorry if my energy was not the best. Like I said, pretty bad day for me, but it was nice to be able to spend some time with you and to do some art. So everybody take care of yourself, and we'll see you very soon. All right. Take care, everyone.